Hello fans, welcome to Man Utd Transfer HQ. Stay updated with the latest transfer gossip and breaking news.
Our today news is Man United flop Antony out for revenge after aiming subtle dig at Ruben Amorim. Antony has turned over a new leaf at Real Betis after struggling to get in the team at Manchester United, with the Brazilian netting 3 times in 4 games for the La Liga team. Antony is seeking revenge at Real Betis after being sidelined by Manchester United, according to his new boss Manuel Pellegrini. The Brazilian has wasted little time making an impression at the La Liga club, netting 3 times in 4 games to banish memories of his struggles at Old Trafford. Antony managed just 135 minutes in the Premier League this season, failing to make a single start. In fact, he's already managed 234 minutes from just 3 matches for Betis. After earning the trust of ex-Manchester City boss Pellegrini, Antony has shown glimpses of his old self, the player United thought they were getting when they paid Ajax £85 million for his services in 2022. Pellegrini said he couldn't understand why Antony failed to deliver at United and said he was on a path of revenge to redeem himself with Betis. He said, "The most important thing has been his attitude and his self-criticism. If they paid that much money for him, it is because he is a player of a great level, who for reasons unknown to me was not able to perform as expected at Manchester United. It is a revenge on himself to show that he is a much more mature player. I have spoken a lot with him to make him calm, without wanting to show great things, but to keep it simple. He is a great player who does important things for the team, and I hope he continues at that level until the end of the season because he will help us a lot." It came after Antony appeared to make a dig at Amorim after his arrival at Betis by claiming he was finally happy again after he played very little under the Portuguese boss, despite working hard. "I wasn't playing much, but I've been working hard. I needed to be happy with myself. The best version of being happy with myself is the most important thing. I played very little in Manchester, but I'm grateful to them and also to the coach, who spoke to me." He added, "The most important thing is that I have found myself again. But when I say that I've found myself here, I'm happy. The people are like us in Brazil. The sun helps a lot. I'm very happy here. I wake up every day with a smile, and that's very important." Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our second news is former Man United star takes aim at Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher over tedious punditry. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher don't try to hide their allegiances towards Manchester United and Liverpool, and their impartiality has been questioned by Paul Parker. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have undermined their impartiality as pundits by wearing their allegiances on their sleeves, according to Paul Parker. Neville and Carragher are 2 of the most high-profile voices in English football thanks to their work on Sky Sports. The pair have been extremely influential in shaping the current football punditry landscape, with the style pioneered on Monday Night Football helping to usher in a more in-depth analysis of the game. Neville spent his entire playing career at Manchester United, having grown up in the area and come through the club's academy, while Carragher did the same at Liverpool. Neither tries to hide their support for United and Liverpool, and Sky hasn't shied away from the allegiances either. Carragher was Sky's co-commentator for Liverpool's 2-1 win over Wolves on Sunday, while Neville performed the same role for United's 1-0 defeat by Tottenham later in the same day. Parker was irritated by their voices during the matches and believes that the general public feel the same way. In the past, as a pundit or commentator, you had to be as neutral as possible. If you had grievances with a club or an individual, you kept them to yourself and just did your job, Neville's former United teammate told mybettingsites.co.uk. Now, pundits openly wear their allegiances on their sleeves. Whether as a commentator, co-commentator, or analyst, they make it clear who they support. People are fed up with it. They're fed up with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. They're bored. Fans want to watch the game and listen to analysis from someone who has played at the highest level, someone who understands the realities of professional football. People don't want someone constantly dissecting every issue at a club. They just want clear, unbiased analysis. Fans are complaining. Parker has called upon the major broadcasters to usher in a new batch of pundits, drawn from former referees and recently retired players, in order to freshen up their offering. He also had a dig at Carragher, claiming that his opinion was less valid because he never won the Premier League with Liverpool. Sky is alienating its audience, he added. Viewers respect Jamie for the number of games he played and Gary for the titles he won. But while Gary can talk about winning trophies, Jamie can't. We need impartial pundits. The system needs to change. We need to bring in different voices, referees, fresh faces in the studio, players who have recently retired. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our third news is Sir Jim Ratcliffe in talks to end big money deal with Man Utd's rivals. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe's company, INEOS, have held talks with Tottenham about ending a 5-year sponsorship deal early as they continue to scale back their investment in sport. INEOS have opened negotiations with Tottenham to end their sponsorship deal with the Premier League outfit ahead of schedule. The petrochemicals firm is owned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who acquired a 28.9% in Manchester United last year and has control of sporting operations at Old Trafford. Prior to Ratcliffe's acquisition in United, INEOS had agreed a 5-year deal with Spurs back in 2022 to promote the 4x4 Grenadier car. But it has now emerged via a new report that said deal could end early following talks between both parties. ESPN outlined that INEOS and Tottenham have held amicable discussions with a view to bringing the agreement, which has led to prominent INEOS branding around the club's state-of-the-art stadium, to an end. The development comes just days after New Zealand Rugby confirmed they were taking legal action against INEOS after Ratcliffe's company exited their £3.7 million a year deal early, citing the deindustrialization of Europe as one of the reasons behind their decision. As INEOS seemingly scale back their investment in sport, Ratcliffe has garnered criticism in some quarters for his actions at Manchester United, too, after making 250 members of staff redundant last summer. It was also revealed earlier this month that there are plans for further redundancies at the club, with 100 employees at risk of losing their job. United's quarterly accounts were released this week and have shed further light on the ongoing financial issues that the club face. The figures revealed that United paid more than £14.5 million to Erik ten Hag and his coaching team after making the decision to sack the Dutchman back in October. The acquisition of Dan Ashworth also proved costly, with the club paying £4.1 million to both hire and fire the former Newcastle chief, who lasted just 5 months in his role as sporting director at Old Trafford. United's latest financial results show the club recorded a £27.7 million loss over the 3-month period, with revenue down 12% year-on-year to the end of December 2024. The club's balance sheet was, however, boosted by an £80 million cash injection from INEOS. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our last news is Man Utd's £1 billion nightmare, Champions League blow and vital INEOS cash injection. Manchester United's latest financial results reveal a bleak picture with continued legacy of Glazer's leveraged buyout proving costly in addition to absence of Champions League football. The cost of Erik ten Hag's sacking in October is the headline figure in Manchester United's latest financial results. INEOS have forked out £14.5 million in compensation after performing an embarrassing U-turn on ten Hag, his backroom staff and, separately, short-lived transfer chief Dan Ashworth, but there are several other notable numbers and issues in the quarterly figures published on Wednesday morning by the club, including the true cost of being out of the Champions League and remarks on the future of Old Trafford. Here are the big takeaways for a club that remains in a difficult place both on and off the pitch. Sack costs. The accounts confirm that United's decision to award the Dutch head coach a new contract in the summer, having all but decided to sack him, only to then get rid of him 116 days later following an alarming run of results cost £10.4 million. And that means the payoff for Ashworth, who lasted only 5 months as sporting director, came in at £4.1 million. Exceptional items for the quarter were a cost of £14.5 million, the corporate release from the club said. This relates to costs associated with the departure of former men's first-team manager Erik ten Hag and various members of football staff. Champions League blow. United's costly absence from the Champions League has also been laid bare in the figures. According to the second quarter results, revenues fell by 12% compared to the same period last year, largely due to the club's reduced broadcasting income from not being in Europe's big competition. Broadcasting revenue for the quarter was £61.6 million, a decrease of £44.8 million, or 42.1%, over the prior year quarter, the statement said. Unless United, who are an astonishing 15th in the Premier League, win the Europa League, that shortfall will be felt again next season. Interest passes £1 billion. 20 years on from the Glazers' leveraged buyout of the club, the cumulative interest has now topped more than £1 billion, with the figures showing £18.8 million in debt. Interest payments were made over 6 months. Overall, the club made an operating profit of £3.1 million for the quarter, down from £27.5 million over the same period in 2023. But United said club debt increased from £506.6 million to £515.7 million owing to unfavourable exchange rate changes. Manchester United Supporters Trust said in a statement that, without the INEOS cash injection of £80 million, the club would be down to £15 million cash, as they again protested against plans to ramp up ticket prices. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news.